Hello, humans. It's time for another day of music theory. You want to get the packet out that is not listen and respond, the other packet with lots of pages. We've done number 1, number 2. Today, we will open up to the back of the front page. Make sure you only have one page. And we will do number 3. Number 3 says, a little more review, treble clef, and note names. Please read with me. At the beginning of each staff, there is a clef. The treble clef, also known as G clef, looks like this. Boop, boop. The treble clef establishes a landmark on the note G on the second line of the treble staff. Now you can see whoever wrote this should have chosen gives or establishes. We don't need both of these words. So let's mark out establishes. The treble clef gives a landmark on the note G on the second line of the treble staff. And this landmark shows us where G is. It's right here, inside this. That's where G is on the second line. To draw the treble clef, draw the line and the tail. So you can trace that. Boop, line and tail. The top loop. So I'm going to redraw the line and the tail and then draw the top loop to make it a tiny capital P. The left loop, tail, P, and we're going around. And the right loop, tail around, and then boop. The curl. Well, I already did my curl. I can't stop. Okay. Notes are named after the first 7. This should be an N. I want you to know that I did not write these words. These came directly out of a music theory book. Notes are named after the first 7 letters of the alphabet, A through G. There is no H note. H does not exist. So once you get to G, we just start over at A again. On the bottom line, we have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. And these are all the notes that fit within the staff, right? If we need a note above the staff, we can put one on top, boop, and that's G. If we need another one, then we start drawing extra lines. Just lots of lines. These are called ledger lines. All right. 1. Try drawing the treble clef sign by tracing over the dotted lines. Then draw 5 more of your own. So, I'm going to start at the top and draw a line down. I don't like how these are curved. I would prefer my line down to be straight, but okay, that's fine. Line down with the hook. So you're going to trace these 3 treble clef signs and then make some of your own. I like mine to be more straight up and down, so I will be making mine straight up and down because all of the note stems should be straight up and down, so it's good practice to do this that way. So go ahead and draw some treble clefs. as long as your treble clef is circling around the line that would have G on it, then it's doing its job. That's its job, is to show us where G is. It's here, right in the hole of the treble clef. Oh, look how good Mrs. Tiamoko is at following directions. It said draw 5 more on your own. Okay, well, I've drawn, so I traced the 3 and I drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 2 times more than we need. 5 times 2 equals 10. That's nice. Okay, well, you draw as many as you want or can. That's fine. Okay. I'll give you a moment. All right, moving on. Number 2. Draw a treble clef at the beginning of the staff. Okay? Let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll read the rest of the directions. So straight down, drawing a treble clef at the beginning of the staff for number 2. Oop, this one's not very pretty, but okay. Then write the letter names of each note. Okay, we know that notes in the space spell face, right? So let's make a note here on the side. Face, F-A-C-E, starting at the bottom going up, right? These are my notes in the space. And then notes on the lines. It looks like some of these have lines going through them, these first 2. I can figure those out by using every good bird does fly, or every gross boy does fart, right? Every begins with E, every, good, G, bird, B, does, D, fly, F. So we have spaces here and lines here. This note is a line note, and it's on the second line. So the bottom line would be every, good, and I only have to go to good because there's my note. It's G. G. It's also the note that's in the middle of the treble clef. So it's telling me this note is G on the second line. Okay, now we've got a note on the third line. Bottom line would be every, Second line, good. Third line, bird. B is our note. B. Now I have one on the very top, and I can kind of look and I know how line notes work. I know that this is the top one, but let's go ahead and count it out. Every, good, bird, does, fly. Fly is F. This one doesn't have a line going through it. This is a space note. Notes in the space spell face. So the bottom space would be F of face, F. And the second space would be A. This note is also a space note because it doesn't have a line going through it like these ones. No line going through it. Notes in the space spell face. So we have F for the bottom space, A for the next space, C for this space, and this space is right in the lane with our note. So this must be C. This note, is it a line note or a space note? A line note. So our line notes use every good bird does fly. So this one's every, and that's just on the first line, so E. Ta-da! This note is a space note because it doesn't have a line going through it. Notes in the space spell face. So the bottom space is F. Next space is A. Next space is C. And then this is the space that our note is in, E, the E hole, the E space. The whole lane is for E. And I can see that looking forward, there's no other E's in that space, are there? Just this one. Okay, this is a space note or a line note. Does it have a line going through it? No. So that makes it a space note. It's on the first space. Notes on the space spell face. So this is an F. Is this one a space note or a line note? Does it have a line going through the middle of it? Yes. So we're going to use every good bird does fly. Let me start on the bottom line. Every good bird does, oh, and there's our note on this line for does, so that makes it a D because does begins with D. Now the last one, this is also a line note. So we're going to use the rhyme. Notes on the line do the rhyme. Every good bird does fly. E, G. And this is G. And we started with G. Do you see how these two notes are the same? This G and that G are the same. They're on the second line. Everything on the second line is always G. The treble clef says it's true. All right. Number 3. Draw a treble clef at the beginning of the staff. Let's go ahead and do that. So the staff is our lines. We're going to draw the treble clef right here. A line going down with a hook at the end. a tiny capital P, and we're going to bring it around to the other side and make a snail shell that circles around the G line, which is right here. Second line is G. Actually, let me move this up a little bit. It says, then draw the notes indicated. If a note can be written on more than one place on the staff, choose one. Okay, so the first note it wants is a G. Well, that's not too hard because treble clef shows that the G is on the second line. So you're going to count up every good, and you're going to draw a note on the G line. Now, if you want, your note can be colored in, or it can be open like these ones. These are whole notes or quarter notes without stems. It doesn't really matter to me. Then we have E. Now you can see we have two places. Face has an E in it, and also every good bird does fly has an E, right? So if you were writing out the E in every good bird does fly, you would use this bottom line. You would put your E here. It says, if notes can be written on more than one place on the staff, choose one. So I'll show you where the other would be, and it doesn't matter whether you decide to go with an E on a line or the E in the space, or you can put both of them, and that is fine too, okay? So there's an E up here and also an E down there. And I'm going to go ahead and color mine in because I colored in the first one. B. If you look at face and every good bird does fly, B is right here in the middle of every good bird. These are line notes. So we're going to go every good bird and put B right there. That's where B is. C. Where is C? Is it in face or every good bird does fly? It's in face, F-A-C-E. Notes in the space spell face, so we're going to count spaces. F-A-C. C is right here. D. Another way to do these is to look for where D was here. We have a D note right there, and it's on this line, not the top line, but line number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. D. Then we have B, and that's in every good bird. Every good bird. Beard. Beard. Bird. Bird. It's right in the middle. The fun thing about B is that it's the cutoff for drawing stems. This is a little extra something, but if a note is below the center line, then the stem goes up. A stem, and it always goes on the right of a note if it's going up, or on the left if it's going down. So you have D's and P's but never B's or Q's. So I know it's yes. So so this stem would go up if you had a stem on it, right? But B's stem can go up or down because it's right in the middle. It depends about its neighbors. It tends to want to do what its neighbors are doing. So we have this note, it's above the middle line, so the stem is going to go down. The same with this D, it's above the middle line, so stem would go down. And since these ones are going down, probably the B's will want to go down too, because that makes sense. You don't have to draw stems. That's just some additional information that we will be going over later. It's a sneak preview of what will be happening in music class. We will be doing stems. All right, A. Notes in the space spell face. F, A. So we're using this second space. C. C is also in face in our third space, right? F, A, C. You can see I've put lots of little dots on my page. You don't have to do that. I'm just showing where I am when I'm counting so that you guys can see where I'm at. In music, a dot adds value to a note. This is just so that you can see where I'm counting, whether it's I'm counting lines or counting spaces. Counting by letters. All right. D. D is not in face. It is good. It is in every good bird does fly. Does. And these are line notes. Notes on the line do the rhyme. Every good bird does. Right here is where D is. For does. Okay. And F. We have two places for F. We have a space note and a line note. The directions say you can choose one. I'll show you where both of them are. You can do one or both. So the space, F, it's the first space. For face, F-A-C-E, F is the bottom. Every good bird does fly. You can see fly is on the top line. Bottom space, top line. That makes sense because we have a low F and then we have a high F. It's like singing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, 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 do. They're the same note, but they're low and high. Yay. I will give you just a moment to finish up what you are doing. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.